Hi everyone! So welcome to another video. Today's video is called Yuletide Greetings. That is the name of this particular spell. And this is going to be a two-part Christmas special. So kind of the idea with this was it's the holiday seasons, it's a time where everybody's sharing their culture and their traditions, and as someone who has always loved to hear about other people's traditions, I wanted to share mine. So this is my Christmas traditions or Yule traditions, and just a little bit about my drawing. So my Christmases growing up, so like up until like the age of 12, were spent at my grandparents' houses. And so we would drive for hours and hours and hours. And we're the city cousins. So we would drive out to the boonies and we would hang out with my grandparents, who I loved to pieces and bits. And we'd get to meet all of our cousins, who my parents didn't even know all of them. And we're supposed to socialize for 3 or 4 days. And it was just this really kind of weird, chaotic experience. And so, cue a whole lot of trauma to do with Christianity. And now as an adult, I'm finding my roots in paganism. So I've always been fascinated by Greek mythology, and I think if you're going to worship some ridiculous made-up thing, it gets to be whatever ridiculous made-up thing makes you happy. And some people really like their sky daddy and their guy who died on a cross, and some people, like myself, just really like an attractive person in a toga. It makes it feel less bad when they ignore me, you know? But my wife has been teaching me about some of the Wiccan holidays like Yule, and she's been teaching me what she knows based on her experiences and her own curiosities, and it's just been so much fun to integrate that into my life, to change up what I'm doing, to have new activities and things to do. Like, Christmas is about the ritual. It's about getting to hang out with people and get to sing the right songs and chant the right tunes and do the right tasks. Like, in my family it was making clam chowder and playing board games. When we finally stopped going out to be with the extended family and it was just my parents, my siblings, and I, it became a game of board games. We started doing, deep fried foods. We would bake it in the oven because my mom's a health nut, and rightfully so. But it was finger food and snacky things and a big old cauldron of soup. And we'd sit down and we'd play board games and huddle up under blankets, and we'd turn on a movie marathon of either Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, whichever one we were on. Some years we alternated, some years we did both. And those are my glory days of Christmas, was being in my late teens. Presents weren't any more impressive than they were when I was 12, but it was togetherness, and it was all people that I knew, all joined together, and everything we did was considerate of everyone. It wasn't, we have a big, huge meal that mom has to cook for 16 hours. It wasn't, let's go out and about and exhaust dad's social batteries so he's a grump for the rest of the day. It was, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna spend time with each other, and we're gonna experience the spirit of Christmas. We're gonna give each other gifts. We would do a gift exchange every year. We'd trade names in a hat, or we'd do a raffle or whatever. And everybody gets a person. We give them a personal gift. So everybody gets something heartfelt and well thought out. And, our parents would do like a family gift. So sometimes it was something small, like one year we got a couple of puzzles. Sometimes it was something big, like one year we got a Wii. Another year we got like think we got a trampoline one year. We were out in Nevada, and you need something to do outside that makes you feel the breeze, and so trampolines tend to be like your only option there. But yeah, we had some really fun holidays, and they were really simple and basic, and it was just about spending time together. And so when I was making this drawing, I wanted to connect kind of all the things I know about all the different ways to celebrate Christmas together. So there's some counting going on. There's a count from 1 to 12. I think I got a little creative in some of my counts, like using lines for the shading, or the number of eyes on the deer, or the number of leaves on a mistletoe, or sometimes I was counting all the berries. But I count down the 12 days of Christmas. We have our little star on the skull of the stag, because this is gonna hang up, it's gonna go in the highest point, so you get the star. Yeah, you can call everybody home. I don't know a lot about the staghorn god, or what all he stands for, but I know that it's kind of the new year and new beginnings, and so for me, I just kind of see it as this mixture of like, it's life, it's death, it's the end of the year, it's dying of the old, bringing in of the new, and it's also something that you're going to hang up on the wall, and all of those things speak to me of, deer skull. It also kind of fits with my upbringing, where everything that I looked into was seen as so satanic and terrifying and awful, and so now I kind of like drawing creepy stuff just because it wasn't allowed. It was taboo, and that made it bad, and I didn't understand what was so wrong with it, so I studied it to try and figure it out. Lo and behold, there's nothing wrong with it, and I still like drawing it to this day. Turns out telling the ADHD kid no is in fact the #1 way to make sure that they do that thing. But yeah, those are my traditions. Those are the traditions that I love so much, is getting to hang out with family and getting to spend time and reconnect. It is so difficult in this day and age to be able to feel like you know what's going on with your friends and family. Everybody is so stressed out. We're all freaking out. We're all trying to manage 1,000 loose ends. And it's a big mess, and it's easy to lose sight of the important things and the important people in our lives. And so, I encourage you in this moment. Normally I'm supposed to say like and subscribe, but in this moment, is there someone in your family you've been thinking about who you want to reach out to? Is there someone in your found family that you want to reach out to? Go talk to them. Take the 10 seconds you would have spent on this video and go tell them they matter. It doesn't matter. It's not been too long. It's not been too weird. It wasn't something you said. Maybe it was, and you should apologize for it, but at the end of the day, if the reason you're not talking to them is because of a stupid misunderstanding, or because you're scared to reach out, it's not worth it. If it's because they shut the door, well then good riddance. The poor losers are better off without you. Clearly they knew what they wanted. But this is not the time to live with regrets. This is not the time to wait and stand on ceremony and circumstance because it might be awkward. The world is full of dumb people doing dumb things. And I would rather make a tradition of boldness than a tradition of waiting too long. And so, in that respect, I'm a big proponent of don't cut people off for no reason. And, speaking of family and cutting people off, I have people I've cut off in my life. It's never been the choice. It's never been the first option. But sometimes it's the reality. That doesn't make you worse. That doesn't make you superior. It doesn't make them wrong or right. It's just a reality of how things have to be sometimes, and it hurts us and it sucks. But it takes a lot of strength and a lot of goodness to be able to take all of that fear and that weight and that concern and that pain and be able to hold on to it and use it appropriately. You're not a bad person for not calling your mom or your brother or whoever this Christmas. But if you've got someone, reach out. And it doesn't matter whether they're related to you by blood or by brotherhood. In a day and age where we can determine down to your last chromosome exactly where every relative you've ever had has been from, I think it's about time to stop pretending that we have anything that separates us. We are each and every one of us Homo sapiens, living our lives as homo or not as we want. And there's no reason to be separating ourselves and dividing ourselves over ridiculousness. But that's not to say there's never a reason, because we've all had one. Right now we're getting to the part of the video where I had a lot of pauses. I actually had to cut a good 5-10 minutes of me doing math out of this space, because I kept stopping to count, how many candles do I have? How many berries do I have? Was I gonna do extra of these little eye shapes? Ah, crap, what was I doing over here? Yes, more beads, and give us a feather. And just trying desperately to fix this arbitrary goal of having the 12 days of Christmas represented. I don't even know in this moment if I could pick them all out. So if somebody wants to go through and see if they can find all the 12 days and see if you can pick out what it was that I was doing, I'll sit here and I'll do the same and take notes, and we'll corroborate in the comments. But I know pretty much everything from the number of bricks to the number of lines I used to shade in the circle of the wreath. All of it had to do with the number. And in trying to come up with more things for kind of this Yule seasonal Christmas vibe I was going for, I actually ended up with a lot of funky elements. So right now I'm drawing a dream catcher that's in the shape of an eye tied up in one of the antlers. We've got a candle up in one of the antlers. I think we've got a couple of dream catchers on the other side as well, with some beads and feathers and such. And this is where we're breaking out the ruler. I'm gonna have to fix these in the inking. When I get to the inking, I'm gonna have to fix these lines. I tried so hard to make it look good, and I whiffed it at the end. And you know what? That's an important part of growing and learning as an artist, is recognizing when you've totally whiffed it. Because I was trying to do halfway between each point, trying to make my gaps all even, trying to break it up so I had the right number so I could make my, I think it's 11 lines or something. Ridiculous. I think I spend enough time as an adult on the holidays, and I start to realize just how much of the specialness came from the people I was with and the dedication to the ritual. Christmas isn't the same if you're not getting shaken out of bed by a 14-year-old who is desperate to spend the next 6 hours waiting to wake up mom and dad. Because our family, we had a time. You weren't allowed to wake up mom and dad until a very specific time in the morning, until 7 a.m. You were not allowed to wake people up. Now, if people so happen to accidentally wake up while you happen to be bouncing around in their room, well, as long as it wasn't the oldest sister, then you're fine. If it was hers, then you were dead, and mom and dad were having absolutely nothing to do with that. That was a grave you dug for yourself, so better get out of it by yourself too. But yeah, no, Christmas is, for me, Christmas is getting up early and going through stockings and picking out all the snacks that our parents used to leave in our stockings, because that was breakfast, was what was in your stocking. And we'd break it open, we'd show off our one little itty bitty gift, like a little thing of thinking putty or a little pair of socks or whatever it was that they thought, man, the kid will like this, they can show this off. And chocolate orange, of course, always a chocolate orange. Yeah. And so we'd break open our stockings and we'd listen to my parents in their bedroom giggling, listening to us open up our presents. It was we knew they were awake. We'd known they were awake since I was at least 7. But it was like there was something in the rules that it was just you pretend that mom and dad are asleep. You pretend that you're gonna wait and we're gonna just play this little game out. It's a skit, it's a ritual, you have to do it a certain way. And so 7 o'clock would show up and we'd break the door down. Oh, mom, dad, it's time to get up. We'd launch ourselves on the bed, we'd bounce around. Dad would get up and go to the bathroom. Mom would go brush her teeth and get something to snack on because she's been up for 3 or 4 hours and she's hungry. And then after they've done their fake dirtling, they're pretending to take forever, we would drag them back downstairs to the tree and we'd start opening presents. It was always, one kid at a time. Everybody would get to open a present, and then we'd rotate again, and so, kind of kept us honest. It kept us from getting to favoritism or stuff like that. We learned how to get used to, if you get a big present, you're not going to get a lot of little presents, but someone else may get 5 or 6 or 7 presents and you only get 1. That's the reality of asking for big things. And it was fun. We had fun. It was happiness, and it was good vibes, and it was cozy, and it was snacking, and it was a little bit of the dopamine rush of new things, but so much of Christmas was just getting to spend time together after having performed that very specific pattern of behaviors. Because, I was homeschooled. I spent every day in that house with those people all the time. There was never a moment where I got away from them. There was never a moment where I wasn't in that house, sans the 2 or 3 hours of church and play dates I managed every week. And even that was, it was forced. I had to make it happen. But no, I spent my whole childhood with those people, but Christmas Day was a different thing entirely. And it was just such a magical experience. I'm just about wrapping this sucker up. I think we've got another minute more. But if you've made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, hit the button, ring the bell, share with somebody that you love. At the end of the day, all we have is each other. And Christmas is an easy time to change our ways, adjust our behavior, and set ourselves up for success in a new year. So take today, evaluate for yourself. What is it that's happening in your life? Are you happy with it? Do you want it to still be there? If the world was perfect, how would you climb your way out of this? You have the power, you have the skill, and so long as you have your people by your side, you've got this. And so as I learn more about the magic surrounding Yule and about the different ways that people celebrate this holiday, I'd like to thank you so much for being here with me. I'd like to thank you for sharing this experience and for joining me today as we sketch, doodle, and chill. Thanks so much, and I will see you for part 2 tomorrow.